Back again to play with Peter. That is Gross. Welcome here to Final Fantasy VII. At the moment, we're stuck with Aeris in the party, so I'm leveling her up a bit. We're going around the Wutai area because there's a lot of fairly, well, I don't want to say high-level fights because we aren't high-level right now, but we are, on the other hand, much higher levels than Aeris. And I'm at the moment attempting to level her up a bit. I may not show every single, you know, fight. That would be possibly a little silly. Or just boring, for that matter. Not necessarily silly, just boring. I don't want to bore you guys, but I want to make this video because, well, it's the Final Fantasy VII playthrough, and if suddenly, you know, Aeris is a much higher level than you saw her at the start, which she was nothing of any, like, use, honestly. She's not going to be for a while, either. She's 28 and they're 33. Which isn't, like... doesn't sound like a big difference, but Aeris is a wimp anyway. Like, there's not really a good reason to have Aeris in your party anyway. So if I'd used her the whole game, I'd still not want her in the party. Because I don't like Aeris. I don't like the character they made. It's very two-dimensional, and it's also supposed to make you feel bad when she dies, which I don't like characters that are literally they're made for the purpose of making you feel bad, basically. Like if the story itself is that way. I don't find Aeris to be an interesting character at all. I don't find her to be... she has no depth. She's just a 2D stupid... I'm Aeris, the flower girl. I've got a little bit of sass, but sweetness underneath. Blah, blah, blah. Wanna buy a flower? Blah, blah, blah. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm Aeris. I don't like her. I don't. They didn't even attempt to give her like any sort of doubts or anything, any realizations, just anything. There's nothing at all. It's just, I'm Aeris, the flower girl. You're supposed to like me, and then I die. In a game that's like 60 hours long, a two-dimensional character isn't particularly forgivable. And I personally like it a lot better when she's dead. A lot of people are like, well, what? No, I don't like her as a character. I think it kind of sucks that, like, they try to make you feel for her even though she's a two-dimensional character. She like, literally is basically a prop. But those are the breaks, you know? These are the breaks. That's just how it is. Doesn't make me happy. Because this is one of my favorite games of all time, but I think that she's a major flaw in the game, personally. I think they should have spent a great deal more time, you know, actually, you know, having a reason for you to, like, they don't give you any actual reason for you to actually find her endearing in some way, you know? And that's what bugs me, I think, about her. It's not her character design. Her character design is actually not bad. There's no character badly designed in this game, though. The character design is very neat. In some cases, not the best ever by any means. But they did a cool job with the characters in this game. Design-wise. And almost every single character isn't two-dimensional. Even Tifa, who is just... It doesn't seem like she even should... It seems like she should be the two-dimensional character, but she's not really. Yuffie, even. Like, this is not exactly, you know, a gender-equal game. So the females are not as... They didn't put as much attention into their characters as the males, unfortunately. They were on their way, so to speak. But Final Fantasy VI, the main character is a woman, and they obviously put a great deal into her character. But I wouldn't call this a completely gender... I would, like, sometimes I would call it outright sexist, this game. But by far the worst sufferer of this is Aeris. And I think it's probably because they're like, well, she's gonna die the first third of the game, so let's make sure that we don't really do a whole lot with her character, okay? And yeah, it sucks. It sucks because she doesn't have to be a crappy character. She could have been a good character, but she is a crappy character. But yeah, now you've heard my 7-minute rant on Aeris. So let's stop the video here. You will know why Aeris' levels are higher now. You will also know why I gave her the most grating, horrible voice in basically an Iago / Gilbert Gottfried impersonation. Now you know my thoughts on it. I think that this character is a little bit two-dimensional, and I think that the game at times is rather sexist in its handling of its characters. That's that, you know? Up in the top left corner, Final Fantasy VII playlist. Top right, channel button is the funny button, subscribe button, and the latest video button. Down in the description, Peterific linkage, Final Fantasy goodness on Amazon, shirts for your back, songs for your ears, and of course, oh yes, social networks for you to follow me on. I thank you very much for checking out all of the videos I put up on Play with Peter daily. I'm Peter Coffin. Watch me often.